What's going on, guys? This is Derek Letters from Strive Fitness. I know what to do, I just don't do it. And that is the most common thing that I hear from my current clients of nutrition as well, especially from new people coming in and our initial consultations and strategy sessions with new members. And the main reason is simply because most people are victims of self-sabotage. Whether it is on the weekends, during the day, mindless snacking, whatever it might be, it usually comes down to self-sabotaging your progress. And so today's video, I'm going to go over the 5 reasons why it might happen, and also the 3 ways we can stop that from happening. So that way you can sustain your progress instead of just burning out around the 3-week mark, the 30-day mark, 6 weeks, whatever it might be. Okay, so the overall goal is to not just start, but actually to finish. And usually people don't make it past that priming phase, that first phase of just inconsistencies because of self-sabotage. And so that's what we're going to go with today. And I'm really excited just because this is a big topic a lot of times that we talk about in our inner circle group of nutrition clients and members at Strive Fitness. So without further ado, number 1, okay, one of the main reasons why people end up self-sabotaging, and that is simply because they restrict and binge, usually on the weekends. They try to go so low during the week and become perfect that now all of a sudden the weekend they binge and go overboard, right? And even though we have different protocols for different individuals, and sometimes it might be, hey, let's go a little bit lower to go a little bit higher on the weekends and have sort of like a refeed. That's not really what we're talking about here. We are talking about the people that are trying to be way perfect and eat super low, and now all of a sudden they completely binge, and the whole weekend scenario where they just overeat, everything like that, and they're constantly restarting every single weekday on Monday. The whole mindset of I am going to start again on Monday scenario. Okay, so that is number 1. Number 2 is the all or nothing mindset. These are the people that are like the perfect scenario of I know what to do, I just don't do it. And that's just simply because these are the ones that have done it before, right? They have that they're either completely perfect or they're completely off, right? The whole black and white scenario. And the main reason why that is a massive struggle is because anytime something is off plan, or maybe they can't track it, or some event happens in their life, so now all of a sudden they can't follow their perfect plan that they set forth. They just completely say fuck it, and the wheels completely fall off, right? And now it takes about like 3-4 days, even like 2 weeks to get back on track, because that perfect plan or what they used to be able to do, it does not work, right? And now all of a sudden it just that messiness that is going to eventually happen during that first 30 days, that first couple weeks, is completely falling off, and now they completely, wheels fall off of their progress. So the all or nothing mindset, the whole black or white scenario, is one of the main reasons why people self-sabotage. The next one is their progress is determined by daily actions, right? So now it might not be fast enough, right? Their progress might be not fast enough because they're looking at day to day, right? Or it is going fast, and now all of a sudden they treat it like a treat, right? So now they go off plan because they did get results. Those 2 different things, they look at it daily. They look at what's going on right now, not the whole picture. And so now I'm seeing progress, but it's not fast enough. I wish I could get what my friend got. I want to be able to do this, and now all of a sudden they fall off track because they're very, very blinders on what's going on across. Number 4 is they fit themselves into a box. They try to fit themselves into like the keto box, the macros box, the if it fits your macros, the low carb, whatever it might be. They fit themselves into a box. So they try to form their life around that diet, right? Instead of forming the diet around their life. They're not trying to think of it as individual. They're not trying to be as flexible and fitting them around their lifestyle. They're trying to fit them lifestyles and trying to put a circle peg into a square hole, right? And so a lot of times that becomes a lot harder, and eventually it doesn't work anymore, because eventually their life is going to take control of what's actually going on. The last one, one of the main reasons of why people self-sabotage and wreck the progress before they actually hit that production phase, is they focus on eating too little. Immediately, we just did this during the first couple weeks of our 6 weeks or our Strive 45 program. Immediately, when people think of a diet, they think of 1,000 calories, right? They're okay. I have to just restrict, and I'm just going to not worry about portions. I'm just going to eat very little. I'm going to replace everything with a salad, and I'm going to have 2 protein drinks, and that's about it. And so it's always a pursuit of eating less. And just like that first one of restrict and binge, this does not last that long. It's sooner or later, your body is going to plateau, and you know what? You're just going to constantly go back and forth between restricting and binging. But I'm always trying to eat less. I'm always trying to do more and eat less, because that's what people say to do. And again, at time and place, that is valid, but not when you're first beginning. Most of these issues always happen at the beginning, at that priming phase of, you know, we're just getting used to that. We're figuring out what it's going to take to diet, and they're trying to do everything perfect and everything fast and everything going on all at the same time. And that's why people fail within the first 3 weeks of doing anything. And those are the main reasons why we self-sabotage, right? It could be one of those reasons. It could be all of them. In my personal opinion, and with working with clients, usually it's the all or nothing mindset of the people that have done it before, right? Because now it's more almost a pride thing of, I should be able to do this. I've done it before. I should be able to do this. For people that are just beginning, it's usually a mixture of all the other ones. They try to fit themselves into a box because they don't know what else to do. They are very restrictive and binging because that's what the media tells you to do. And either way, there's generally a reason why we end up doing that. So everyone has their shit that they have to deal with. Everyone has their specific stuff that's going on. Okay. So now what's going to end up happening is the top 3 reasons, or the 3 ways we can stop this. And all of these different ways work. It's different mindset pieces. There's some different tactics, but again, most of it is mindset, because usually that first 30 days, it's just getting used to it. We have to get through all of this shit. We have to get through all the inconsistencies, and then you start hitting your stride and hit that production to get fast results. Okay. Most people don't make it past that priming phase of, again, shittiness, weight fluctuating, life getting in the way, stuff like that. Okay. So the top 3 ways we can stop this is simple enough. Stop restricting during the week. All right. Stop going 100% perfect. Try to not be, we want to be shooting for imperfect action. Okay. Each and every single time, each and every single week. We don't want to be perfect during the week. And that involves again, restrict and binge. That sort of stops that. Just simply because, again, there's different protocols we have. Some of our clients, for our nutrition clients, hey, let's go really low during the week, so that way we can have a little bit more room, because the weekend is usually a shit show, right? The weekend is a little bit harder. And that is their protocol. That is their stuff that we decided that was their plan. We're not talking about that, because even during that, we're not trying to be perfect. We are just trying to have the most success. Okay, we're trying to set something up to get the most success. Here, people are trying to restrict and be absolutely perfect at lower calories. And the reason why that doesn't work is these are usually the people that on the weekends, it becomes a complete shit show. And the main reason is willpower, right? Most people say, I don't have enough willpower. I wish I had more willpower. I wish I had as much motivation and willpower as someone that is successful. The thing about willpower is, just like stress, and they usually go hand in hand, there's a limit, right? And at some point, you just don't have enough. So that's why usually when people fall off, right, or when people live really, really high stress times and stuff like that, they usually fall off, right? Because at some point, my body just becomes too stressed, and now I don't want to do anything. There's no motivation anymore. And so if you're trying to restrict and be perfect during the week, there's always these events that you are trying to just gut through and just make it through these events. And all those involve willpower. Now, during the week, you have a big plan, right? It's generally easier during the week because it's typical plan, work out, family stuff, whatever it is, meals. It's usually the easier way to make it through the week. But if you are trying to restrict yourself and be perfect, we're still tapping into all that willpower. And then when you get to the weekend, there's no more willpower. And now there's no plan, because that's usually what happens. There's a little bit more flexibility during the weekend and stuff like that. So now when you really have to depend on willpower and a perfect plan and stuff like that just to make it past the weekend, there's nothing left. And that's when people binge. Right? And so that's one of the main reasons why you don't want to do that. We just want to stop restricting during the week. We want to have a little bit of plan, but we want to be flexible. Okay. With that, we want to be able to have a little bit higher calories, right? We want to start higher, because then as we get consistent at the higher calories, now all of a sudden we can dip below that because we're already consistent. It's really hard to be consistent long-term at lower calories and still include life. A lot of times when we're just starting a nutrition plan, even if you've done it before, there's way too much life going on. There's way too much flexibility. And so now all you have to do is just be at higher calories and just tone down the stuff. And now you're consistently losing weight. And if you plateau, you can always dip lower, because now those small little changes become a lot easier to handle. Instead of trying to be massively changed, our bodies doesn't adapt to that. Our mind doesn't adapt to that. And it just becomes too much work, too much stress to do that. All right. So we don't want to be perfect during the week. We don't want to overly restrict. And we want to eat at a little bit higher calories, generally as high as humanly possible, and then make adjustments as we need to get that result. Number 2 is focus on the whole game. What I mean by that is each week is a game, right? And each day is a part of that. So now don't think of it as daily stuff, daily events that's happening. Think about the week. How was your week? Was it a shit show? Did you do well? You hit your plan, you hit your mark, you hit all of your vision of what your diet is. You hit your core principles that we're trying to focus on. Maybe you did that 3 out of 7 days and you've never done it before. You won. Now next week, how can you make it 4? How can you make it 5? And you keep on doing that, taking that imperfect action, because each week is a game. Each month is a game. At the end of the day, how many days did you get it right? If you got only like 50-50 or something like that, like half the days you did well, half the days you did bad, you can't really expect a whole lot of great results, but you want to make sure it's a little bit better. Now try to get 75%. Now try to get 80. And now also you start seeing the progress, because you view it as a whole entire game instead of daily events. You start doing that, progress will come. So don't think of it as daily progress on, I'm not getting progress fast enough, I'm not doing this. Think about the whole stuff, okay? The whole game. Take imperfect action and get a little bit better each and every single week, each and every single month. And you do that, you start focusing on other stuff than the results. So now those results will come because I'm focusing on the process, the whole process versus outcome scenario. Okay. The last one is have a plan. This is usually going along the lines of people that fall off during the weekends. Most people, it's the weekends that they self-sabotage, right? We talked about the overly restrictive self and why that's not going to work on the weekends because of no more willpower, high stress, all of that stuff. But now it's because most people don't generally have a plan for the weekend. Now, this is usually because we're not working. It's a different time, right? It's even myself, I don't do much on the weekends, right? So if I'm trying to do work on stuff nutrition, I have to create a different plan. Now, the thing with this is if I say that and your first reaction is, I can't have a plan, there's too much going on, that's bullshit. That's an excuse. The problem with that is you're thinking that my plan has to match my weekday plan. And now there's too many things going on. So now it doesn't match what I do day to day. And that's usually why people make that excuse of I can't make a plan. There's too much going on. And the reason why that's bullshit is the plan can adapt. Most of the time, if I'm either here or it's a shit show, right? I'm drinking a crazy amount. I'm eating out every single meal, right? I'm being lazy as shit, not doing anything, right? And so now what you want to do is you just want to make this a little bit more manageable. So now, even if I go over and not be perfect here, it's not a shit show. And now this massive gap is down here, and now we get results. That's generally what you want to think of it as, right? Instead of thinking, oh, I can't do it because it's not going to match this because of all of these things happening. Now what you're going to end up doing is you're going to create a different plan, right? You're going to create a different vision of what your weekend looks like. You're going to create a different set of core principles that you're going to focus on. Right, that's what we go through when we through our VCI method. Right, we create a vision of our nutrition, we follow some core principles, and we go through imperfect action. The week might be different than the weekend. What you want to do is you want to create a checklist of things that you can do. Maybe I'm not going to have a whole bunch of drinks. Maybe I'm going to have 2, right, when I go out to eat or when I go out to drink. Maybe I'm going to go out every single time because I'm traveling for work, and I'm going to have a salad instead of a cheeseburger or something like that, right? It's just something like that, just to get you through the weekend. You're going to create this checklist. A lot of times for myself, I always work out, once a day. Definitely Sundays, usually Saturdays is my off time, but I'm going to work out once. I'm going to generally try to get 5,000 steps. My steps are really low because I don't do anything during that time. And so I try to get to my at least 5,000, because if I don't, I'm going to get about 2,000, right? So I'm going to try to get 5,000. It's not 10, but it's better than what I usually do, and it keeps me active. And I plan what I'm going to eat, right? I want to eat complete, even if it's going out to eat, I'm planning actual meals. And the reason why I do that is simply because if I don't, I will mindlessly snack like crazy. I do it all the time. It's one of the things that I struggle with. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a checklist that I can do. And just doing that, having a plan, will go from it being a shit show to it being manageable. And manageable, and this, your regular week, will now equal success, right? Shit show and regular week, not so much, right? So create that plan, get it out of your head that it has to match your weekday plan, and get away from that excuse of I can't do that, right? Just make a checklist, make it manageable. And again, it could be literally anything. Okay, I'm going to have 1 snack a day. I'm going to do this. I might not even, during the week, if you track macros, you might not even track macros. You might not track at all during the weekend. I don't, right? I do not track at all during the weekends. I track during the week. Why? Because weekends are my time off, but it doesn't mean that it has to be a shit show, right? That's what we're looking for. And those are the 3 things that you can do to stop self-sabotaging. Basically, we're getting away from overly restricting during the week and not having a plan on the weekend to having a plan on the weekend, right? Always having a plan, even if it's as simple as just drink water, right? Whatever your plan is, that's what we want to do, right? But we have to have something. People that just do random shit do not get results. And then also going away from looking at stuff daily and not the whole picture, and getting away from the all or nothing mindset, okay? Dieting, nutrition in general is very gray. There's a lot of gray area. It's not black and white, and it's the whole picture. If you focus on those things, you will get past that priming phase, and you will get past the shittiness of 30 days, 6 weeks, and then you'll get the results that you're looking for. And even better, you'll be able to handle all of these different situations that are not going anywhere. All right, that's generally the worst part about a restrictive meal plan or a 6-week challenge. That's you have to go all in and be perfect during that entire time, because this weekend shit, this self-sabotage, it's not going anywhere, right? You can gut through it for 6 weeks or maybe 8 weeks if you're lucky, but you're definitely not going to be able to do it your entire life, right? Doing it this way and taking it piece by piece gives you a lot of the tools that now you can do it your entire life and be able to manage any situation, as opposed to just ignoring the situation. And that's really what we're doing here. That's what we're trying to do. And if you take any of those instances, you'll be able to get a lot of great progress. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you have any questions, post in the comments. If you know of anyone that needs to hear this, okay, maybe they're always constantly self-sabotaging, which honestly is usually about 95% of the population, or especially the people that we talk to with first consults and even ongoing nutrition clients. tag them below. Let them make sure that they need to hear this. And give me a like if you felt that this was a good video. Give me any type of questions or anything like that, and I will comment and answer any of those questions as we go. If not, love to hear from you guys. Thank you for listening, and I will talk